Let's talk about your scars. Not the ones on your skin. I am talking about the ones you hide. The failure in your business, the divorce that destroyed your confidence, the depression that stole 3 years of your life, the betrayal you never saw coming. You hide them. You put on a mask. You smile for the camera. You tell everyone, I am fine. You are lying. And worse, you are weak. You live in a society that worships perfection. Look at Instagram. Look at LinkedIn. Everyone is polished. Everyone is winning. Everyone is unbreakable. So when you break, and you will break, you feel like damaged goods. You think you are defective. You think you belong in the trash. Because in the modern world, when something breaks, we throw it away. Or we try to glue it back together so nobody notices the cracks. But this desire to hide your damage, this obsession with returning to normal, it is the reason you are fragile. Let me tell you a story. It takes place in Japan in the 15th century. There was a powerful shogun named Ashikaga Yoshimasa. He was a warrior, but he was also a man of culture. He loved the tea ceremony. He had a favorite tea bowl, a masterpiece from China. It was perfect. It was his most prized possession. One day, gravity did what gravity does. The bowl fell, crack. It shattered into pieces. The shogun was devastated. He looked at the fragments of his perfection on the floor. He refused to throw it away. So he gathered the pieces. He packed them in a box, and he sent them back to China, to the original craftsman. He demanded they fix it. Months passed. Finally, the bowl returned. The shogun opened the box with excitement. He lifted the lid, and his heart sank. Craftsmen had fixed it, yes, but they had used the standard method of the time. They had drilled ugly holes into the delicate ceramic. They had used heavy, ugly metal staples to hold the pieces together. It looked like Frankenstein's monster. It looked like a scarred, mutilated corpse of the bowl it used to be. It was fixed. It could hold tea. It was functional. But it was hideous. It was a reminder of the tragedy, not a recovery from it. This is exactly how most of you handle your trauma. You go to therapy just to function again. You take pills just to numb the pain. You use metal staples on your soul. You patch yourself up just enough to get back to work. Just enough to pay the bills. Just enough to pretend you are okay. But deep down, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you see the metal staples. You see the ugliness. You see a broken thing that was forced back together. The shogun looked at this ugly bowl, and he said, "No." He said, "There must be another way." He did not want to hide the cracks. He did not want to pretend the accident never happened. But he also did not want this ugly scar. He called for his own Japanese craftsmen. Not the logical repairmen, but the artists, the alchemists. He gave them a challenge that seemed impossible. "Do not hide the damage," he said, "but do not leave it ugly. Make the break beautiful." What they did next created a philosophy that would change the world. And it is the only philosophy that can save you from your own history. Because you are broken, we are all broken. Entropy comes for us all. The question is not, how do I avoid breaking? The question is, what do you put in the cracks? The craftsmen came back to the shogun. They placed the box on the floor. The room was silent. The shogun lifted the lid again. But this time, he did not see a monster. He saw a miracle. The craftsmen had not tried to hide the cracks. They had not tried to make the bowl look new. Instead, they had taken a precious lacquer, mixed it with powdered gold, and filled every single fracture with liquid light. The cracks were no longer damage. They were veins of gold running through the ceramic. They were lightning bolts frozen in time. The bowl was broken, yes, but now it was infinitely more beautiful than before. And more importantly, it was infinitely more valuable. They called this Kintsugi, Jinjigi, Golden Joinery. The philosophy is simple, but it is radical. In the West, we throw away what is broken. In the West, we worship youth and perfection. We want the unblemished skin. We want the resume with no gaps. We want the history with no mistakes. But Kintsugi says, the object has not ended its life because it broke. It has only begun its next chapter. Now look at yourself again. You are the bowl. Life is gravity. And the trauma you faced, that was the fall. Most people try to fix themselves with resilience. You hear this word everywhere. Be resilient. Bounce back. I hate that word. Resilience is overrated. Resilience means you withstand the shock and stay the same. A rock is resilient. A rubber band is resilient. It stretches and it goes back to its original shape. But you are not a rubber band. And you should never want to go back to your original shape. Why would you want to go back to who you were before the tragedy? That person was naive. That person was weak. That person is dead. Kintsugi is not about resilience. It is about something much rarer. It is about being antifragile. The concept comes from Nassim Taleb. The fragile breaks under pressure, like the original bowl. The resilient resists pressure, like the metal staples. The antifragile gains from pressure, like the golden bowl. When you practice Kintsugi on your soul, you do not just survive the depression. You do not just get over the bankruptcy. You use the wreckage as raw material to build a version of yourself that is incapable of being broken by the same thing again. The gold in the cracks, that is not just decoration. That represents wisdom. Pain is just information. Suffering is just data. If you hide the scar, you delete the data. If you hide the scar, you suffered for nothing. But if you fill the crack with gold, if you own the mistake, if you analyze the failure and extract the lesson, then the broken place becomes the strongest part of your armor. A bone that breaks and heals is often stronger at the fracture point. A muscle must tear in the gym before it can grow. A forest needs a fire to clear the dead wood for new growth. This is the law of nature. Chaos is the fuel for growth. But you are running from the fire. You are ashamed of the fracture. You are trying to paint over the cracks with white paint, hoping nobody sees them. Stop it. You are wasting the gold. So, how do we do this? How do we take a shattered life and apply the gold lacquer? How do we turn trauma into a weapon? It requires a shift in your identity. It requires you to look at your past and change the narrative. You have a choice. You can be a victim, or you can be a vanguard. The victim looks at the broken pieces and says, "Why did this happen to me? I am damaged. I am unlucky." The vanguard looks at the exact same pieces and says, "This happened for me. Now I have raw material that nobody else has." How do you make this shift? How do you actually apply the gold? You need to understand the economics of trauma. Pain is expensive. You paid a high price for your suffering. You paid with your time. You paid with your sanity. You paid with your tears. If you paid the price, Where is your receipt? If you suffer and learn nothing, you are just a bad investor. You let the pain rob you. But if you extract wisdom from the pain, then the pain becomes the currency you use to buy your power. Here is the 3-step protocol to weaponize your history. Protocol 1. Radical ownership. Stop the bleeding. Most of you are still bleeding because you are still blaming. My parents ruined me. The economy ruined me. My ex ruined me. As long as you blame them, they own you. They own your story. They own your scar. To apply the gold, you must take the brush in your own hand. You must look at the wreckage of your life and say, "This is mine." Even if it wasn't your fault, it is now your responsibility. Own the crack. Do not hide it in the basement of your subconscious. Bring it into the light. Inspect it. Respect it. Protocol 2. The ROI audit. Find the gold. Sit down. Take a pen. Write down your biggest failure, the one that keeps you awake at night. Now, force yourself to write down 3 things you gained from it. Did you go bankrupt? Good. Now you know exactly how not to run a business. That knowledge is worth millions. Did you get your heart broken? Good. Now you know how to identify red flags. Now you have the capacity for deeper empathy. Now you know you can survive being alone. This is the gold dust. You have to scrape it off the floor of your misery. A man who has never failed is dangerous to trust because he doesn't know his own breaking point. But a man who has failed and rebuilt himself, he is solid. He is tested. He has golden joinery holding his spine together. Protocol 3, the display, wear the armor. This is the hardest part. Stop trying to be normal. Normal people are fragile. Normal people break once and stay broken. You are not normal. You are a Kintsugi masterpiece. Use your history as a filter. When you talk to people, do not hide your past struggles. Share them. When you share your scars, 2 things happen. First, you repel the fake people. The people who want perfection will run away. Good. Let them run. They are weak. Second, you attract the real warriors. People trust scars. People follow leaders who have bled. If you are a recovering addict, your discipline is sharper than a monk's. If you survived poverty, your hunger is fiercer than a billionaire's. Your defects are actually your unfair advantages. The cracks allow the light to shine out of you. They are the windows to your soul. But you are busy trying to board them up. You are busy trying to look like everyone else. The Shogun's bowl became a national treasure of Japan. Not because it was perfect, but because it told a story of survival. Your life is telling a story right now. Is it a tragedy? Or is it a hero's journey? The difference is not what happened to you. The difference is the gold. There's a final secret you must understand. Kintsugi is not a one-time event. You do not just fix the bowl once and put it in a museum. You use the bowl. You drink from it every day. And because you use it, it might break again. This terrifies people. I just fixed myself. I can't handle another break. Yes, you can. Because now you have the gold. Now you have the method. If you break again, you just add more gold. You become more complex, more intricate, more valuable. This acceptance of the cycle, this love for the scars of time, is called Wabi-Sabi, Chaji. Wabi-Sabi is the appreciation of the impermanent, the incomplete, and the imperfect. Look at the modern world. Everything is plastic. Everything is mass-produced. Everything looks exactly the same. Plastic has no soul. Plastic cannot do Kintsugi. When plastic breaks, it is trash. It cannot be repaired. It just pollutes the world. Do not be plastic. Do not try to be a perfect product, fresh off the factory line. Be the ceramic. Be the ancient clay. Be organic. The most beautiful people in the world are not the ones with the perfect faces. They are the ones with the stories in their eyes. The most powerful leaders are not the ones who never failed. They are the ones who walked through hell and came back carrying buckets of water for the rest of us. So, stop hiding. Stop hiding your divorce. Stop hiding your depression. Stop hiding your bankruptcy. Wear your history like a king wears his crown. Let the world see the gold veins running through your character. When you walk into a room, carry the weight of your survival. It gives you gravitas. It gives you a presence that no unbroken person can ever have. I want you to do something today. I want you to look at your biggest scar, physical or mental. And I want you to say, this is where the light enters. You are not damaged goods. You are a unique, irreplaceable artifact of the human experience. The world is hard. It will try to crush you. Let it try. You are antifragile. You eat chaos for breakfast. And every blow they strike just adds to your value. Go out there. Do not be afraid to break. Because you know how to put the pieces back together. And this time, you will use pure gold.